Welcome back to our channel, your ultimate destination for the most gripping, glamorous, and heart-wrenching drama in Los Angeles. Today is a spectacular day to dive deep into the treacherous world of high fashion, where loyalty is a luxury and betrayal is always in season. Grab your favorite beverage and settle in as we unpack the explosive, emotional fallout from the most shocking runway event of the decade. The atmosphere at Forrester Creations is nothing short of apocalyptic following the seismic shock waves of the Hope by Logan fashion show. The hallowed halls of the iconic fashion house, usually buzzing with the creative energy of impending haute couture launches, are now suffocating under a thick blanket of betrayal, disbelief, and simmering rage. The unthinkable has happened, and the reality of the situation is a bitter pill that the Forrester family is struggling to swallow. Hope Logan Spencer, the golden child of the Forrester legacy and the long-standing, beloved face of hope for the future, has committed the ultimate act of corporate and familial treason. By secretly defecting to her Aunt Katie Logan Spencer's rival fashion house, Hope has not only shattered the fragile peace between the warring dynasties, but has also ignited a firestorm that threatens to burn Forrester Creations to the ground. The sheer magnitude of this deception has left everyone from the interns to the executive board reeling, struggling to comprehend how such a massive, highly coordinated operation was kept entirely hidden until the very moment Hope stepped onto the Logan runway. At the epicenter of this emotional earthquake stands the venerable patriarch, Eric Forrester. For decades, Eric has weathered corporate espionage, bitter divorces, and vicious family feuds, but the pain radiating from this particular betrayal strikes at the very core of his heart. The revelation that his own wife, Donna Logan Forrester, was completely complicit in this grand deception is a devastating, soul-crushing blow. Donna knew the truth. She knew about Katie's ruthless poaching, she knew about Hope's secret contract, and she chose to remain silent while her husband and his family poured their souls into an upcoming haute couture line that was about to be completely eclipsed by this scandal. The executive office, once a sanctuary of shared dreams and enduring love for the couple, has now become a hostile, toxic battleground. Ridge Forrester, boiling with righteous indignation and an unyielding desire to protect his father's legacy, has already taken the severe step of ousting Donna from the executive suite, treating her not as a beloved family member, but as an embedded spy who prioritized her sisters over her marriage. When the heavy oak doors finally close, leaving Eric and Donna alone in the suffocating silence of the Forrester mansion, the true depth of Eric's agony is laid bare for all to see. He does not yell, nor does he throw objects in a fit of rage. Instead, his reaction is far more chilling and profoundly sad. It is a quiet heartbreak, a deep-seated disappointment that cuts sharper than any screamed insult ever could. Eric looks at the woman he loves, the vibrant woman who brought sunshine back into his twilight years, and sees a stranger who allowed his family to be blindsided and humiliated on a global stage. He demands answers, his voice trembling with the crushing weight of a shattered trust. How could she look him in the eye every morning, knowing the catastrophic humiliation that was barreling toward his family? How could she watch Brooke Logan Forrester, her own sister, eagerly anticipate Hope's return to Forrester Creations, knowing full well that Hope was secretly plotting to destroy that very dream? Donna's defense is steeped in agonizing tears and desperate, breathless pleas. She attempts to articulate the impossible, suffocating position she was forced into, trapped between the fierce, lifelong loyalty she holds for her Logan sisters and the profound, unwavering love she harbors for her husband. Donna frantically explains that Katie swore her to absolute secrecy, placing an unbearable emotional burden on her shoulders that she never asked to carry. She insists she never intended to hurt Eric, nor did she want to see Brooke's heart broken, but the tangled web of Logan's solidarity blinded her to the inevitable, devastating collateral damage. Donna frantically tries to make amends, reaching out to touch Eric, begging for his understanding and a path to redemption. However, the damage is catastrophic. While the underlying dynamics suggest that Eric may not immediately file for divorce or cast her out onto the streets, the foundation of their marriage has sustained a massive, perhaps irreparable fracture. The road to forgiveness, if it even exists, will be long, agonizing, and fraught with lingering suspicions and broken trust. In stark, jarring contrast to the funereal atmosphere at Forrester Creations, the Spencer Tower is practically vibrating with triumphant euphoria. The Logan fashion show was an unmitigated triumph, a masterclass in aggressive marketing, strategic deception, and spectacular design execution. Bill Spencer, the ruthless architect and financial backer of this corporate coup, is reveling in his victory. Champagne corks pop as Bill smugly announces that advance orders for the Hope by Logan collection are already flooding in at an unprecedented rate, crashing servers and breaking industry records before the day is even over. This is exactly the kind of vindication Bill craved: a public, humiliating defeat for Ridge and Eric Forrester, orchestrated with brilliant, cutthroat precision. Beside him, Katie Logan Spencer is glowing with the fierce pride of a visionary who gambled absolutely everything and won the ultimate jackpot. Her strategic genius has paid off spectacularly, and she is already capitalizing on the massive momentum, demanding that her team immediately begin conceptualizing the next collection to keep their boot firmly planted on Forrester's neck. And then there is the star of the hour, the woman at the center of the storm, Hope Logan Spencer. When she strutted down that catwalk, draped in Deke Sharp's breathtaking, youthful designs, she looked every inch the fearless fashion icon she was destined to become. Adding an intoxicating layer of drama, opulence, and undeniable power to her debut was the presence of the legendary Hope for the future diamond, glittering fiercely under the runway lights. The gemstone, steeped in controversy and history, served as the ultimate symbol of her emancipation from Steffy Forrester Finnegan's oppressive regime. Hope's performance was flawless, projecting confidence, independence, and a bold new vision for the future. For a fleeting, intoxicating moment, the deafening applause and the blinding flashbulbs validated every agonizing decision she had made. She had finally claimed her total autonomy, stepping out of the shadows of Forrester Creations to build a magnificent empire that was truly her own. Yet, as the adrenaline begins to fade and the harsh, unforgiving reality of her actions sets in, the glittering facade of Hope's triumph crumbles, giving way to a profound and terrifying emotional breakdown. The cost of her dazzling independence was the absolute destruction of her relationship with her mother. During the highly publicized post-show press conference, a barrage of relentless, probing reporters backed Hope into a corner, forcing her to publicly admit that Brooke Logan Forrester had absolutely no prior knowledge of this monumental career shift. That public confession was the final, devastating nail in the coffin. Hope knows her mother better than anyone. She knows that Brooke's unwavering support has always been the unshakable bedrock of her life. Now, having watched Brooke turn her back in utter devastation, Hope is drowning in a dark ocean of guilt and despair. The dazzling success of her fashion line feels incredibly hollow and meaningless when weighed against the catastrophic loss of her mother's love and trust. Hope is acutely, painfully aware that the media frenzy is only just beginning, and she has inadvertently thrown Brooke to the wolves. By publicly confirming Brooke's ignorance, Hope has essentially painted a massive, glowing target on her mother's back. The ruthless Los Angeles fashion press, always hungry for scandal, betrayal, and familial discord, will undoubtedly swarm the Logan estate, shoving microphones into Brooke's face and demanding comments on her daughter's ultimate betrayal. The terrifying thought of Brooke being ambushed, humiliated, and interrogated by the paparazzi sends Hope into a spiraling, suffocating panic attack. Liam Spencer, acting as her fierce protector and emotional anchor, tries desperately to soothe her, holding her close and promising that Brooke's maternal love is unconditional, insisting that time heals all wounds. But Liam's comforting words ring hollow in the face of the catastrophic damage that has been done. Hope realizes with a sickening drop in her stomach that this is a wound that cannot be fixed with a simple apology or a tearful embrace. She has crossed a line from which there may be no return. Meanwhile, back in the tense, suffocating war room at Forrester Creations, Steffy Forrester Finnegan is operating in a state of hyper-focused, cold-blooded crisis management. The public relations nightmare unfolding before her eyes is unprecedented in the company's history. Eric Forrester's highly anticipated return to haute couture collection that was supposed to reassert Forrester's absolute dominance and creative superiority in the fashion industry has been completely hijacked. The entire media narrative is entirely consumed by Hope's shocking defection to Logan, leaving Eric's exquisite, painstakingly crafted designs relegated to the back pages of the fashion blogs. Steffy is forced to make rapid, excruciatingly difficult decisions to stop the corporate bleeding. She paces the executive office, her mind racing as she furiously debates whether they need to delay the haute couture launch entirely. Pushing the show back would be a massive logistical and financial nightmare, costing millions, but moving forward while the press is utterly obsessed with the Logan scandal risks turning Eric's triumphant return into a humiliating, ignored afterthought. As Steffy wrestles with the logistical nightmare of salvaging the company's immediate future, a dark, simmering rage begins to consume her entirely. This was never just about business for Hope. In Steffy's eyes, this was a calculated, malicious, and highly personal strike against the Forrester family legacy. Steffy feels an overwhelming, bitter sense of vindication for every doubt she ever harbored about Hope's loyalty. But that vindication is heavily overshadowed by her blinding thirst for absolute vengeance. She refuses to let Katie and Hope get away with this unprecedented corporate sabotage. Steffy's mind is already racing, formulating aggressive counterattacks and cutthroat strategies to crush the Hope by Logan brand before it can truly establish a foothold in the market. The velvet gloves have completely come off. Steffy is prepared to leverage every ounce of Forrester power, every industry connection, and every ruthless tactic she has learned from her father and grandfather to ensure that Hope's new venture crashes and burns in spectacular, undeniable fashion. The most terrifying, unpredictable wild card in this explosive scenario, however, is Brooke Logan Forrester. Brooke has always been Hope's fiercest champion, a fiercely protective mother bear who would willingly go to war against anyone who dared to threaten her daughter's happiness or career. But this betrayal came from within the den. Hope didn't just leave Forrester Creations. She actively participated in a sprawling, intricate web of lies, utilizing Deke Sharp as a decoy, sneaking around behind Brooke's back and allowing her mother to look foolishly optimistic about a future that was already dead and buried. The profound heartbreak Brooke experienced while watching the live stream has quickly calcified into a cold, terrifying, and unforgiving fury. The revelation that her own sister, Katie, orchestrated this emotional manipulation and actively encouraged the deceit only pours high-octane gasoline on the raging inferno of Brooke's anger. The impending fallout strongly suggests that Brooke is not going to retreat into a corner to weep over her shattered family. She is going to go on the offensive with the force of a hurricane. Brooke has silently promised that both Katie and Hope will pay dearly for the wrath they have unleashed upon her. This is a side of Brooke that few have ever truly seen. A mother scorned, a woman whose unconditional loyalty and love were weaponized against her by the two people she trusted most. As the reporters begin to swarm her gates, hoping to capture a tearful, vulnerable breakdown, they will likely be met with a woman forged in steel, ready to unleash a holy war. How far will Brooke go to punish her own daughter? Will she actively campaign against the Logan fashion line, tearing down the very empire Hope is trying to build? Will she leverage her immense, undeniable influence in the fashion industry to blacklist Katie's new venture and cut off their supply lines? The possibilities are as endless as they are deeply destructive. Brooke's vengeance is a slow-moving, catastrophic storm, and when it finally makes landfall, it threatens to tear the Logan family apart permanently, leaving nothing but ashes in its wake. The ripple effects of this catastrophic Tuesday will be felt across Los Angeles for years to come. Zende Forrester Domings, whose recent, hard-won promotion to lead designer of Hope for the future has been rendered completely meaningless by Hope's sudden departure, is drowning in a bitter, suffocating sea of resentment. His dreams of leading a major fashion line have become tragic collateral damage in the escalating war between Hope and Steffy. Electra Forrester, reeling from the devastating discovery that Will Spencer lied to her face to protect the Logan secret, is reevaluating her entire relationship, realizing with a broken heart that Spencer corporate loyalty will always trump their romance. The lines in the sand have been drawn, the long-standing alliances have been irreparably shattered, and the city of Los Angeles is bracing for an all-out fashion war that will spare absolutely no one. As the dust begins to settle on the most dramatic, emotionally charged runway debut in history, one thing is abundantly clear: nothing in this glamorous world will ever be the same again. Eric and Donna's marriage hangs by the thinnest, most fragile of threads, a tragic casualty of misplaced loyalties and devastating secrets. The Spencer family may be popping champagne and celebrating their genius today, but they are celebrating in a house built on deception. With the formidable Forrester empire and a furious, vengeful Brooke Logan preparing to launch a massive, coordinated counter-offensive. Hope Logan Spencer has finally achieved the creative freedom and independence she so desperately craved. But she is standing completely alone at the top of the mountain, haunted by the shattered relationships and broken hearts she left in her wake. As the cameras continue to flash and the advance orders continue to roll in, the true, devastating cost of this victory is only just beginning to reveal itself. Stay tuned, because the drama is about to reach unprecedented, explosive new heights.